out of the question. I will never join you again.
There will be a lot of fighting, though.
Hey, it's me, Goku!
Oh yeah, that's true.
Clair Obscur is one of the best things since the invention of bread. You might think that's a joke, but I have never once told a joke on this channel. I have told a few lies though, although please trust me that I am not lying when I say that you should all play this game right now. Click off and play it, because I'm deep diving into spoilers to try and figure out what's going on with these little guys. These are Gestrals, funny wooden people who speak in a made up language combining what I think is French and English. You might be wondering why I'm fixating on these little guys instead of talking about any other element in this game. But if I do, my heart's going to break again and I do not have time to deal with that. So, one final time, spoilers. Dear God, spoilers. They're going to be everywhere. Beat the game and come back, or don't come back, just play Clair Obscur, and for those of you who have, well, I'll let the sax do the talking. So, before we can start theorising about Gestrals, we need to look at the facts. We need to look at A, what Gestrals are, B, what their visual design tells us, and C, the strange world that they inhabit. A is easy enough. Gestrals are these wooden humanoids of varying sizes that are native to the continent who adore fighting. Seriously, they love fighting as much as Goku does, and that says a lot. They each have brushes atop their head, like hair, and seem to be seasoned travellers, found almost everywhere on the continent. Seriously, I have no idea how half of these little get around. I mean, apparently Noko is faster than Eskie, and he's like 2 foot tall. Now, although their bodies can be destroyed, Gestrals are technically immortal, able to be reborn by making chroma offerings to the sacred river. But because these Gestrals don't quite come back as the same person they were before, this is more like reincarnation than waking up in a new body. Still, this rebirth process aids Gestrals in their love for fighting, and many are quite straightforward beings who tend to be quite friendly. They don't ever seem to have an issue with humans and are always willing to help our expeditioners. It shouldn't be overstated how important the visual design of the Gestrals is, either. Clair Obscur is a game that does a lot of visual storytelling, and the Gestrals are no exception. Their design makes a lot more sense once you discover that the game's setting takes place in a canvas, a painted world kind of similar to Ariandel and Ariamis in Dark Souls. When knowing this, the design makes a lot more sense and it's kind of reminiscent of wooden drawing mannequins. Their broom heads, as Mael calls them, are like paintbrushes, which makes sense given that they are a part of a painted world. Curiously though, the Gestrals don't seem to have much of a culture around painting. Sure, they paint signs and their village is vibrant enough, but their culture is about fighting, trading, and building giant mechs called Sakapatets to do more fighting. I mean, at least they're consistent. Now, this makes more sense when looking at the painted world and its creation. It doesn't really have a name other than Verso's canvas, but I'm going to refer to it as the canvas from now on. Now, the canvas is the one and only world Verso made, and it has a bit of his soul in it, which is why it's so important to the Descendra family after Verso's death. From what we get told, this canvas was where Verso and Clair spent a lot of their childhood. Then later, Alicia joined them. It should be noted that there is quite an age gap between Clair, Verso, and then Alicia. Now, Clair doesn't have much to do in the story, other than delivering one of the coolest Dark Souls-esque speeches for Simon's Phase 2.
My love, these foes are beneath you. You, who have fought heaven and earth, and subdued giants. To find me, to free me from her grasp. Would you fall now to the likes of them? While your oath remains unfulfilled, rise. Your enemies await.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn full!
Oh, Lae'zel, you can deliver one hell of a speech. We learn from Painted Verso, who has all of the original Verso's memories, that he wasn't really into the whole painting thing as much as the rest of his family. He preferred music. Now this could have either been a creative thing, or Verso wasn't really into the whole idea of creating life and then abandoning it. But either way, this remains his one and only canvas. He used a part of his soul to maintain this canvas and keep life inside it going. This is quite different to Clair, who's probably the best painter in the family. She created the Neverons in her childhood, although they weren't always successful, and she moved on to other canvases once she outgrew the canvas. She returned to try and drive her mother out, but gave up because it was just going to take too long and she has a lot to do, and demonstrated that she can paint over someone else's creations, something that the rest of the family can't do. She painted over Simon to make him strong enough to take down an Axon, give him the power of the Gummage, and made him mighty enough to defeat Expedition 60's Pillarman. She also painted over her painted version, yeah, it gets quite confusing, to make her a Neveron making machine and an optional boss that will kick you in the behind. This seems beyond what the original Verso can do, at least from a painting perspective, and this makes sense given that he didn't have Claire's responsibilities as the oldest child, and, well, as we already established, preferred making music. The Gestrals actually retroactively tell us this, because they all have strange proportions. Whenever you use wooden mannequins in drawing, they're meant to help with posing to get the proportions right. And, well, it doesn't look like Verso paid that much attention to his proportions. It seems like he treated them like action figures rather than tools for painting. That's probably how Verso viewed them when creating the canvas as his childhood playground. The Gestrals were almost like his favourite action figures that got to fight each other, and there weren't really many consequences if they got hurt because of the whole rebirth thing, and it is a kind of feature that children would dream up for their action figures. And Verso, at least in his childhood, cared about how powerful things are too, making his favourite creations some of the canvas's most powerful beings, even when compared to the meddling of his family's years later. I mean, sure, his father's Axons were some of the most powerful around, and Clair made Simon, well, the less said about him the better. I still have nightmares. I mean, just look at Golgra, Eskier, and to a lesser extent, Monoko. Golgra is scary strong, and the chief of the Gestrals. Eskier is one of the painted Verso's best friends, and Alicia holding a plush at him at the end of the game probably shows that he was a childhood toy. Then there's Monoko, who isn't quite as scary strong, but he's clearly mighty, able to keep up with everyone else in the expedition. And he's got a bromance going on with painted Verso.
Romantic.
He's named after the Cassandra family's dog, Monoko III, which is a brilliant name, and I sort of view him as real Verso's favourite action figure, and that's kind of what the rest of the Gestrals are. They're leftover artefacts of Verso's childhood, and living embodiments of his toys, showing the stagnation of his canvas by being reborn over and over. It's like the lore of all your LEGO figures was given life in an alternate world. Your LEGO would be the fossils of your childhood joy and imagination, and that's why when the canvas is erased and all the Gestrals are cast into oblivion, it's more than just saying goodbye to Verso as he was, a man in his prime taken before his time. Alicia and the Cassandra family are forced to say goodbye to the boy who helped make that man, from his childhood friends and toys to the playground where he spent his youth. And the worst thing about this all is that it's the only way for the family to move on after his death, to get rid of everything. Nothing can remain of Verso Cassandra except his memory. Not his Gestrals and not his painted world. God, this game's depressing.